All right, let's unpack this. Welcome to the deep dive. Today, we're really zeroing in on a golf topic that causes endless frustration, even for the pros, putting. Specifically, we're dissecting a concept often mentioned but, well, rarely truly understood, aiming beside the ball.
You've shared some incredibly precise research with us, and our mission today is pretty simple, really. It's to cut through the noise, reveal the measurable science behind truly accurate putting aim, and move you beyond just guesswork. This isn't just about tweaking your stroke. It's about a foundational understanding that could profoundly impact your short game.
It's interesting, isn't it? A task that looks so straightforward,
Yeah.
just pointing the putter at the hole actually has such intricate biomechanical and visual underpinnings. Most golfers approach putting aim almost intuitively, but as your sources clearly show, the reality is far more precise. Understanding this aiming beside the ball thing gives us a powerful lens into how our eyes and body need to work together for, well, true accuracy. And that phrase, aiming beside the ball, it's almost a golf cliche, right? When you hear it, what usually comes to mind? For many, it's probably just getting their eyes directly over the ball or maybe trying to visually trace a line with their peripheral vision. It feels more like a mental suggestion, maybe a hopeful estimation. But the science, according to our sources, it's talking about something completely different. How does the research redefine this seemingly simple act?
Well, that common interpretation is a significant misstep, actually, a really common one. The true definition of aiming beside the ball, according to the science we're looking at, isn't about the general position of your eyes over the ball itself. No, it's about your perception of where the putter face is actually pointing, but and this is critical from a specific vantage point beside the ball. We're moving past guessing or feeling. This is a measurable, repeatable process. It's rooted in very specific biomechanics and vision science to ensure your putter is aligned exactly as you intend.
Okay, so this isn't just a mental shift then. It's quite physical, quite technical. If we want to truly nail this precise science, the sources tell us there are two core skills golfers really need to develop. Can you walk us through those?
Absolutely. The first fundamental skill is the ability to project a perfectly straight visual line across the green, what the sources actually call a laser beam of vision. Imagine your eyes can cast a focused, straight line of light right onto the putting surface. This isn't just a metaphor. It becomes your objective reference line. It's how you'll actually gauge direction, not just with a general glance. The second skill, and it's equally important, is learning to match this visual projection, this eye's aiming line, to the actual direction of your putter face. And here's the key insight from the research. The putter face's true aim is always defined by a line 90 degrees perpendicular to its sweet spot when you address the ball. So that laser beam from your eyes must be checked against the putter's true strike line. When you combine these two abilities, the sources explain, you essentially eliminate all guesswork. You switch from, I hope I'm aimed right, to, I know I'm aimed right with certainty.
Okay, so knowing is the goal, certainty. How do we actually do this on the green? Let's walk through this sequence of movements, almost like you're setting up some kind of precise optical instrument. Step 1, direct your eyes straight outward. Okay, so this means aligning your gaze perfectly perpendicular to the spine axis of your head and neck. Your eyes aren't tilting or straining. They're looking naturally, directly ahead from your face. Think of it like a flashlight beam shining straight forward from between your eyes. Right. Then step 2, you connect that direct gaze to the putter's sweet spot. You gently lower your head until that projected gaze, that visual line, points directly at the exact center of your putter face. This is where your visual axis and the physical aim of your putter intersect. It creates a really crucial reference point. And for step 3, you rotate your head towards the target. The vital part here, the sources say, is to keep your eyes fixed, but rotate your head sideways. As your head turns, that straight visual projection sweeps across the green like a beam. And the sources revealed that as this eye line travels, it clearly identifies the true direction of your putter face. If the projection lands left of your intended line, your putter's aimed left. Simple as that. If it lands right, it's aimed right. Your setup is only truly correct when that visual line perfectly aligns with your chosen target.
Exactly. And what's truly revolutionary here, I think, is how this objective process completely replaces intuition or feel. We all know golfers, right? Even really good ones, elite players, who rely almost entirely on feel for aim. This method replaces that with undeniable geometric feedback. It's no longer a matter of whether it feels right, it's a matter of whether the alignment is demonstrably, measurably correct. That level of precision, of knowing before you even start the stroke, that's a game changer.
It really does sound like a radical shift in perspective, almost counterintuitive in a way. But to truly implement it, we need to understand a bit about the mechanics of our own vision, don't we? So let's quickly touch on our field of vision, or FOV. Each eye's visible area isn't a perfect circle, apparently. It's more of an asymmetrical shape, generally narrower towards the bridge of your nose and wider outwards, kind of egg-shaped. Now, your left eye, naturally, has a mirror-reversed FOV compared to your right. Together, they create our normal binocular vision. But the sources point out something interesting. For a precise putter aim like this, you sometimes need to use each eye independently to truly pinpoint that putter face direction.
hmm And this is exactly where the average golfer often struggles because this variability in our FOV is why just casually aiming is so unreliable. That visual projection, that precise line of your gaze we talked about, can actually pass through almost any part of your field of vision depending on how you position your head and your eyes. You see, you can look slightly up, down, or sideways, and that line will exit through a different spot within your FOV each time. This inherent variability is precisely why our eyes can trick us. Without a fixed, repeatable reference point, you might genuinely believe your putter is aimed correctly, when in fact it's pointing somewhere else entirely. That's the core challenge this method solves.
Right, that makes sense. This variability highlights a real problem for consistent aim. So the crucial question becomes, how do we establish a fixed reference point within that variable field of vision? And this is where the sources introduce what sounds like a genuine breakthrough, what they call the magic spot. It's described as the single, repeatable reference point within your FOV. It's the one specific point your gaze always passes through when projected straight out, perpendicular to your face. Anatomically, it's about an inch or so to the side of the bridge of your nose, roughly corresponding to the average spacing of our pupils. It's like a natural, built-in landmark we all have.
Exactly. And the elegance here is how this anatomical detail provides a practical, almost foolproof method for aiming. Let's break it down step by step again, focusing on this spot. First, you close the front eye. That's the one closest to your target. Okay. Then your rear eye, the one farthest from the target, projects its straight-ahead gaze through this magic spot. Remember, straight out, perpendicular. You then lower your head just enough so this precise gaze points directly at the sweet spot of your putter. At this exact moment, the putter sweet spot will appear to sit visually right on your magic spot. That's the connection. Now, as you rotate your head sideways towards the target, keeping that sweet spot seemingly aligned with your magic spot, the magic spot itself literally glides across the green like a sliding window, carrying that sweet spot image with it. And here's the payoff. Whatever object, a blade of grass, a spot, whatever appears inside this moving magic spot at your target distance is the exact line of your putter face. This isn't perception anymore. It's pure, undeniable geometry. It gives you true confidence because you know precisely where you're aimed. No more guessing or hoping.
That's fascinating, the geometry of it. But while the magic spot concept is brilliant, our sources also note a practical consideration. You can't actually see the magic spot itself directly with your rear eye, can you? It's more of a theoretical point. So, for day-to-day application on the course, there's a fantastic alternative they mention, the skin spot. This is described as a nearby observable facial landmark. It's a point on your face where the upper side of your nose meets your eyebrow ridge. Crucially, it's horizontally aligned with that invisible magic spot.
Yes, and its utility is immense because it's visible, or at least you can feel where it is. By aligning this clearly identifiable skin spot with your putter sweet spot, getting the sweet spot to appear right under it as you look down, and then rotating your head sideways, you achieve the exact same accurate directional perception as using the theoretical magic spot. This alternative is especially useful for golfers who might find it tricky or uncomfortable to close one eye during their aiming process, perhaps, or for those who naturally rely more heavily on their rear eye dominance. It offers the same precision with a slightly different, maybe more accessible execution.
Okay, this is incredibly detailed, so let's bring it back to the listener. What does all this mean for your golf game? The implications of mastering these magic spot and skin spot methods seem pretty profound for your putting. First, it offers objective certainty. Just think about that. No more relying purely on feel or hunches or those inconsistent drills that seem to work one day and completely fail the next. You know, with geometric certainty, exactly where that putter face is pointing before you ever take the putter back. Secondly, it sounds like it virtually eliminates common aiming errors. The research cited in our sources is pretty stark. Even a tiny 1-degree error in your face angle at impact will cause you to miss putts beyond about 8 feet, 1 degree. This magic spot technique seems designed to prevent those errors before your stroke even begins. You're starting perfectly aligned every single time. And it's important to note the sources really emphasize this, that this specific visual aiming science, this incredibly precise methodology, was developed by Puttalyze. Our sources highlight that it's currently the only system in golf today that explains aiming beside the ball with this level of anatomical and visual precision. contrasting it sharply with many other methods that are often, well, incomplete or sometimes even misleading. Mastering the magic spot isn't just presented as a new trick. It's positioned as the bedrock of consistent and reliable putting aim.
Absolutely. And to build on that, consistent aim is the absolute prerequisite for everything else in putting, really. It ensures that any break you read on a putt is genuinely due to the green slope and your speed control, not because you've accidentally misaimed from the start, that 1-degree face angle error we just talked about. At 3 meters, maybe 10 feet, that easily translates to a miss of several inches. That's a margin no golfer can afford, especially on those crucial putts to save par or, win a match. And basic physics just reinforces this, doesn't it? Softer putts, faster greens, longer putts, and downhill putts all spend more time rolling. It's simple physics. The longer they roll, the more effect the slope has, the more they break. This makes accurate aim right from the very beginning even more critically important under those trickier conditions. The sources also mentioned briefly that core drills like the core putt, the gate drill, and fall line drills are excellent ways to reinforce this vital relationship between your visual aim and the actual roll path of the ball. Practice makes permanent, right? And it's worth mentioning, if you happen to be using the Puttalyze app, it apparently integrates the same scientific basis. It simulates things like aim point, distance point, and the resulting roll trajectory to visually confirm the precise geometry behind the magic spot method. It all ties together into one cohesive system.
Wow. This has truly been an eye-opening deep dive. Really has. We started with a phrase, aiming beside the ball, that for many golfers, myself included, probably was vague, maybe even a bit confusing. But we've moved from that sort of hazy concept to a precise, measurable, and repeatable science for putting aim. It really is about replacing guesswork with absolute certainty, giving you a tangible, consistent advantage on the greens.
It really is. And, if we connect this to the bigger picture for a moment, it really makes you think, doesn't it? How might applying such a precise anatomical and visual understanding like this magic spot or skin spot method to a task like putting, how might that transform not just your golf game, but perhaps even how you approach other areas of life that demand high visual accuracy and fine motor control? What other magic spots might be hiding in plain sight in other skills, just waiting for us to discover them? Something to ponder.